Megan here, and today we are going to go on a journey. A hair journey, that is. So I've had one of you specifically say a couple of times that I should show the journey of my hair. Most people start their hair journey videos when they just started changing their hair, but I've had hair from the time I was born, so I figured why don't we start there? So like every other child in the world, practically, when I was little I started out with light hair and it just got darker over time. So here's me, little tiny me. There I am with an updo, a little bit older, and there's my hair a little bit longer. So then going into elementary school, this is my 4th grade picture. This is pretty much the longest my hair was. This side is kind of curled up because we had recess, and it clearly, I did not care what it looked like back then, but see how long my hair is there? That is how long I have wanted to get for ages! Now mind you guys, some of these pictures are extremely embarrassing, and the fact that I am sharing them with you means that we are on a whole new level of friendship, just so you know. So this is the 6th grade. So we went from 4th grade to nice long locks to I chopped it up to my shoulders, which was insane because that makes my chubby face look even chubbier. Look at that chubster. It's okay. Fat little cheeks when you're in 6th grade is totally okay. So here we go with the most embarrassing picture of my life. Okay, so this is the haircut I refer to all the time that I absolutely hate with a passion burning in my heart. Because I actually asked him for a Mandy Moore inspired do. So my hair should have actually been more like here. Like it came all the way around on her face, but he gave me like back here in the back I would blow dry it to where it would stick out. That's it grown out a little bit. So that's a little bit more for what I was going for, but it still just did not fit me. But this is right when I first got it cut, which was crazy because that was school picture day. I had Justin Bieber bangs going on, and I'd stick this out in the back like a duck. It just, oh, it was bad. And I remember sitting there because I went to a mall salon, and I remember waiting on my mom and grandma and just hot tears behind my eyes because I'm like, my long locks, where are they? What am I gonna do? It was just, oh dear. So, you've now seen a picture that I have disowned and do not allow anybody to see. Then, 8th grade, I've started growing it back out, and I apparently learned what dark eyeliner was. This would be 8th grade when I started having it a little bit longer, and I was playing up my natural curl there, but I was using crunchy mousse back then. So then, by my 9th grade year, I had managed to grow all of that mess out, and it was pretty much my natural hair color, which was a very dirty blonde, light brown color, for which I should have just left it. Then I started playing with highlights. If I remember correctly, I think these were one that I played with in a box where you get that little magical wand, as they call it, and you just streak the highlights across. By that next summer, right before I became a sophomore in high school, that's when I had quite a bit of blonde in my hair, but it was still subtle enough that it was pretty. By the time that I was actually in my sophomore year of high school, my mother and I decided to do a cap highlight at home on me. Yeah. This would be the results. I came out as an all-over platinum blonde. It was so intense. And these pictures I'm showing you right now are from a concert that I went to. It was November when I went to that concert. And just because I get so pale, I felt so washed out. So, after that, we went to her hairstylist who put some brown on my hair. But as that started fading, because this is just what happens when you have blonde and brown and mixing everything, it started fading to a reddish kind of hue. And I got curious because I was like, this is fun. I might like red. So that's when I decided. So here you can really see my roots. This was when my red had grown out quite a bit. But I started out with a box red And it was kind of a red-violet base, which was smart. I didn't even realize what I was doing at the time, but I only look good in red and violet because I'm a cool tone. There was a small little phase in there where I tried henna hair stuff. There are people online that say that there is henna that doesn't have a metallic base to it, but I'm too scared to try henna any form ever again, just simply because of what happened to me. I got it at Whole Foods. It said that it was henna, it made it red. So then I was extremely bright red. After talking to different people that do hair and stuff, there's metallic dyes or something in this henna. That is what made all of my chemical breakage. So I had all these layers due to the chemical breakage because I had already had color on my hair, and you should never put color on your hair and then henna on your hair. It should be one or the other and never mix them. So my junior and senior year pretty much consisted of me being a redhead, and it was awesome. I loved being red. It was the most fun thing, and I was starting to get more into doing interesting things with my hair. So here's an interesting one. I was really into theater in high school. It was Blythe Spirit, and I was Mrs. Bradman. And if you know anything about Blythe Spirit, Mrs. Bradman is really boring. So I made her an interesting English lady. I made her an alcoholic. I created a little poof up here, and I put a sock in it as I was creating it so I wouldn't have to tease. And once I was done creating it, I took that sock out, and that's what's in the picture. I'm pulling out one of those little tiny bottles of alcohol like they do on planes and stuff. So in the play, I'm sitting there and they're having like this serious conversation, and I just pull the bottle out of my hair and spike my teeth. Then we go through doing more reds and all that stuff, and I honestly, I loved being red. So then I get to cosmetology school. Oh, cosmetology school. I had become really good friends with this girl that was in my class, and we're still friends on Facebook, and I see she's doing really, really well in the field. The day before we did the cut, we had been doing updos, and that's what made my gorgeous big chignon, and she did that one. It was gorgeous. And then the next day we learn long round layers. So we decide that we're going to do it on me, because I hadn't had a haircut in forever, and my hair was actually finally starting to get long. So I told her, I was like, well, just take an inch off the length and then put those long round layers in. She starts cutting, and she did the length like it was, but then when we started doing the long round layers, and when you're learning these, it's really confusing. So I was sitting there, and I remember she had done this side, and it had already come all the way up to here, and I still had this side nice and long, and I was like, oh, all that work, and now I gotta start over. Needless to say, she fixed it, the instructor fixed it, and she did my color also, but oh man, I had to start over, because look at how short it was. So I was like, okay, this is okay. It's gonna be alright. I needed all those dead ends off from the henna and everything. I get about halfway through cosmetology school being red, and then I decide, okay, red is taking way too much of my hair. I need to go back to brown. So another girl I had become friends with, she was darling enough to put a full foil in my head to break up the blonde, so that we wouldn't have to do a soap cap, which gets up all of the red. So she put blonde in there. We spent the entire day pretty much. And after she had done all those highlights, she had to go back in and put brown over top of it. She did an awesome job. Red is the hardest color when you put it in permanently to get rid of. So my hair started fading back to red again. So that's when I just decided, hey, I've been blonde before, so let's just put more blonde in and not even make it brown. Let's just put the blonde in, wash it out, tone it, and we're good. So that's when I slowly, progressively started becoming a blonde again. Pretty much by the time I started the first salon after cosmetology school, I was more blonde than anything again. But when you're a newbie, they make you a guinea pig a lot. So we got the Brazilian blowout in the salon. So these are my before and after pictures of that. There was 3 of us that we practiced it on. I was one of them. And with a Brazilian blowout, you were supposed to use half an ounce of solution as opposed to 2 whole ounces. We wound up using a ton on my hair and everyone else's hair that we were practicing on. We were all in there choking, gagging. Our eyes were bloodshot red and we were crying and it was so intense. We opened the front door, but that wasn't enough. Because we used so much, my hair was so flat against my head, I was miserable because I'm used to my natural wave pattern. I wound up putting some sulfate shampoo in my hair. This is the only time that I ever actually condone putting sulfate shampoo in your hair. And it actually helped roughen it up some. So if you ever get a Brazilian blowout, first of all, the person will know what they're doing because of things like this. So your hair isn't going to be flat against your head like mine was. So then we decide that the salon is going to possibly start putting in bonded extensions. They were amazing. I loved them so much, except for what was up here. The length was gorgeous. As you can see, it was absolutely gorgeous. About 6 weeks pass, and I'm starting to realize I don't like these things because first of all, if I do this, my hand gets stuck because there's all these little bonded things on my hair and I can't run a hairbrush through it. I kept saying to the people at the salon, can you help me take these out? I really need them out. And they were supposed to be taken out a different way, but I was so sick of them that I started picking at them at home and taking them out that way. Probably not the smartest idea, so if you ever get bonding extensions, do not ever do it in that fashion. But I was sick of having them. I was ready to have my old hair back. It took me 3 days to pick them all out on my own. I completely took them all out. Once they were all out, my hair was so thin because each little plug that was bonded to the hair, that hair that is naturally on my head, would come out with it. I started YouTube about that time after I had done that. You can see in my first videos how bad my hair really is, and it's really sad because I was starting to do better. But it's like every time I get to that point that I'm like, yes, my hair is getting to where I want it to be, I have to turn around and start all over. So now we're about into last year. And last year, I really did not put permanent hair color on my hair at all. I would be doing demi-permanent colors, but nothing too intense. I did a little hint of red here and there just to give myself something. And then I think I just stopped putting demi-permanent and everything on it. And it wasn't until this year in March that I let them do some of the ombre. And that's still kind of in there, where it's blonder on the ends. But I did that so that I could just keep growing. And now we see, here we are today, it's finally starting to get nice and long. As you can see, it's almost mermaid hair. It's down to here now. So it's getting nice and long. It's just the growing process that takes a while. And I can't put anything on it, so I have to be patient. But it's been fun. It's been a very interesting journey so far, and I'm intrigued to see what else I will do to it. So that's pretty much it. You've seen lots of pictures of what I've done in my hair over the years, and now we are up to date onto today, and it's quite interesting to see what's happening next. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, and when I told you that I was going to do this video, I said that I wanted you guys to start thinking about your hair journey and make a video sharing your hair journey, and when you do, post it on my Facebook page or tweet it to me at MegAlizabeth9 on Twitter, because I definitely want to see it, or you can even inbox it to me on here. I wish we had video responses still, but we don't. So somehow get it to me. And if you don't do videos on here, you can always leave me a story of your hair, either all over the years or your craziest hair story or something just to do with your hair. It's really fun to see you guys' stories, so I would love to see something filmed from all of you, but I understand that we can't all do that. So, be sure and somehow tell me your hair journey, and I hope you enjoyed mine. Let me know what you thought the most interesting thing I've done to my hair was. I will see you guys in the next video. Have a lovely week, guys. Bye. I have to share with you my favorite picture ever because this shows that I was meant to become a cosmetologist. This is during the time in which I was really blonde, but I love it so much because that's one of my best friends. I've known her since we were like 12 years old or somewhere around there, and her face, you can tell that I'm really pulling hard. I used to do my friend's hair all the time before I actually went to cosmetology school, and I was so rough, and I was like, I am creating here. And now I'll do it, and it's so much more gentle because I know what I'm doing, but I tried to play off that because I was being creative, I could be as just rough as I wanted. So her poor